All right, go ahead and if you are live on Facebook with us, go ahead and just give us a thumbs up or a like so we know that you can hear me. Uh, all right, looks good. Glad to see everyone here. We're gonna get started. Let me just go ahead and share my screen and we will get going. Oop. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Happy Wednesday evening. And just want to get started. So today we're going to just talk about recognizing and managing stress in our overstimulating world. Everything that we're going to talk about today is not necessarily groundbreaking or something you've never heard about before, but we want to maybe something will be new, or we want to just reinforce things that you've heard in the past, and maybe we'll get you to start working with something like that, or just see if there's something that's new or exciting to you, to see if there's something that we can work to decrease this stress that a lot of us are feeling in this time, getting back into reality after a couple years of crazy. All right. One thing, make sure you have a pen and paper with you. This is, we want to make sure that we're getting as much out of this as possible. I will send out this slide deck to everyone, but it's just good if we can write things down. We have a better chance of remembering them and using them in the future. So give you a second, grab that. All right, sorry guys, we lost you there for a second. I think we're back. Okay, let's go back a little. So who is Dr. Dr. Nini? So I am a Cache Valley High School graduate. Let's just get one thing, make sure this Zoom part's working. Sorry, technical difficulties. All right, let's present again. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I am a Cache Valley High School graduate, go Trojans, and I'm a St. Mary's grad. I studied kinesiology there, and now I am a doctor of chiropractic. I don't say this just so that you think that I'm really awesome and smart and cool, but actually just to, show I've had some stressors in my life. I've been in school for about 20 of the last 27 years of my life. And so these are some of the tools that I've used in the past that have helped me, and then some new things that I wish I would have known when I was in school and would have implemented to decrease that natural stress. One thing, my favorite quote is always, life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. So this same thing applies. So I'm not going to tell you one thing and you find it and your life's never going to be stressful and everything's going to be perfect, but using these tools, knowing what we want, and then creating the life that we want. And with all of that, just being able to work as best as possible and enjoy our lives as much as possible and decrease our stress and create the world that we want today. So let's keep that in mind as we go through. So seems like a good place to start. Just what is stress in general? So there's many definitions, I am sure, but one of my favorite definitions of stress is when your perceived demands are greater than your perceived resources to meet those demands. So stress is a real thing and also something that we just perceive in our lives. So we want to see how we can perceive things maybe in a different way, or actually do some physical things to decrease the amount of stress. But just keep in mind, let's see if there's any perceptions that we might be able to change that can drastically change how we're viewing our own lives and what's stressing us throughout day to day. So first question for you, this is where pen and paper come in. Just what are the 5 biggest stressors in your life? I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to take a sip of water, and we're just write them down on a piece of paper. If anyone feels so bold as to comment, just write one of them down below or just give a thumbs up. Make sure you're with us, and go ahead and take a second and think about the 5 biggest stressors in your life. All right, looking good. Okay, so now that we have those, how do you feel right after writing those stressors down? Do you feel relieved, calm, and happy and excited? Like, oh, well, if those are the 5 biggest things stressing me out, I'm going to be all right. Or do we feel sad, stressed, anxious, worried, overwhelmed that we don't know what we're going to do? We know there's a lot of stress coming, and it's overwhelming to figure out how we're going to face this. So just take a second again, think about it, see if there's anything that pops to mind. Perfect. All right, let's move on here. So the effects of stress. So aches and pains, exhaustion, insomnia, headaches, dizziness, shaking, high blood pressure, muscle tension, jaw clenching, low energy, digestive trouble, obesity, mental health decline. How many of you know someone with any of these things? I would guess most of us. And then how many of you attributed any of these things in part or in whole to stress, not to work or lack of exercise, but stress physically affecting our bodies? Just something to think about. So next we're going to talk about the 5 types of stressors. So postural stress, this is what I see the most. It's more of our physical structure, things that we're working at. We know that posture, we can have forward posture, we can have really strong posture, but just a physical kind of reaction. Nutritional stress is what we're putting into our bodies, not only what we're putting in, but how our body is able to use those things. Do we have the ability to absorb the nutrients that we're taking in day to day nutritionally? And is some of the things that we're putting in our body adding stress to our system? Emotional and environmental tend to overlap a little bit, but for this specific case, we're going to talk emotional as internal. So things that we put on ourselves, stressors, things that we feel anxious about, things that are inside of our minds and our bodies that are emotionally affecting us. And then environmental is more of toxins, so things coming from the outside in. So goes along with nutritional. All of these actually really go together as types of stress, but environmentally, things affecting us from the outside in, and we can work through that. About maybe the sun. Does the sun cause you stress because you don't want to get a sunburn, but you don't know what is the right sunscreen? That's an environmental stress coming into us. And then one I think most of us, as long as we've lived for a little while, are familiar with is pain. Pain is a huge cause of stress in day-to-day life. And so just wanted to go over the kind of those 5 stressors to begin with. 5 most stressful events in life. Granted, these came from good old Dr. Google, so bear with me. There's definitely other stressful events in life, but they seem to fit pretty well. Major illness and injury, job, career, work, death of a loved one, moving, and divorce. I don't think any of us can deny that these are stressful. Like I said, many other things are stressful in life, but these are, 5 of the most stressful events in life that we come across. All right, so what are we going to do about it? Why we're here? So just to review a little bit, we have been talking about, what stress causes in our life, and then postural stress, nutritional stress, emotional stress, pain, and then environmental stress. So what do we do about those things? There is many things like I said, these are not groundbreaking or some brand new thing that I came up with, but a good reminder and a good place to start of where we want to focus our energy if we're feeling stressed and how we can improve that. Oops. All right, intentional exercise. This one's one of my very favorites. This came to me personally. Last October, I started a kind of workshop with my own patients. It was called Movetober, and the goal was to move for 30 minutes every day for 30 days. And you know how many people have come and said that's changed everything. Even if you don't keep it up, that's a whole nother seminar of creating habits and keeping them. But just getting your body moving. Our bodies are naturally made to move. So if we are stationary, we're working all the time, we're watching TV, we're, you know, even just sitting and relaxing, our bodies are meant to be moving, and something has to be moving at all times. So if our physical body is stopped moving, that brain gets to work extra overtime. So something to keep in mind, just getting moving to use that stress, fear, anxiety, and get rid of it. Let it go and let your body physically move so that your mind can be at peace and settle down for a little bit. One of my favorite, it says depression, but it also definitely applies to stress. As soon as you feel that depression or stress kicking in, move, literally move, go outside, run around, dance, exercise, move your arms all weird like a jellyfish. I don't care how you do it, move, get your heart rate going and your body moving ASAP. So just intentional movement. When we're moving, don't do it just because I told you to do it. Do it because you know that there's something in it come of it. Maybe put on a good motivational podcast and walk around and see what's going on, and just observe your surroundings. Don't put on anything and listen extra, or watch people walking by. Make sure you're saying hi to other people, just moving our body with intention, knowing that we're gonna get something out of it, and we're gonna slow our mind and be able to work and function better. All right, here's a biggie. We're on Facebook right now, so thanks for being here. But managing our social media time. This is something that comes up all the time. If this is ever something that you've struggled with, looking at too much social media or anything, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Make sure we're all here together. Say me. But different things. So social media has this air of perfection. Everyone else has the perfect life. It makes us feel stressed and worried and misunderstood about how could everyone have everything that I've ever wanted. And it's, even if we know that that's not true, managing our social media time can be really helpful to decrease our stress level. So some things to consider with that is literally managing your time, setting a timer. We don't want to get rid of it altogether, but maybe set a timer. We have 30 minutes, get your social media, binge it out, numb your mind. And then once the timer goes off, switch it off, do something different. Talk to your significant other, talk to your kids, lay in bed, read a book, anything like that. Just managing that time physically. Another thing too is unfollowing people, or if that might be controversial, muting people, even for a short amount of time, and see how that changes your energy, see how that changes the stresses that you're feeling with your body. And then big one is turning off targeted ads. Every time you jump on there and click on some dress, maybe that's just me, but and then it keeps popping up and I'm like, oh my gosh, all I need is this dress. If I have this dress, everything's going to be good. I'll have no stress and everything's going to be great. But we all also know that's not true. So turning off targeted ads and just getting random ads thrown at you that you can ignore. We don't need to add to all of our other stresses with monetary stress too. So if we're not purchasing things left, right, up and down, like is very easy to do, that is always going to be helpful. So another thing too is changing what you're looking at on social media. So following inspirational pages, or being able to follow people, maybe not just inspirational quotes, but people that inspire you, or things that are going to add a positive vibe into the social media that you're looking at, and not allow you to compare and contrast things so much. So any one or all of those is going to help you. And just notice, you don't have to do anything, and it might not change at all, but notice if, you do one of these things and say, hey, this decreased the amount of comparison that I'm having, or something like that. Anything at all is going to be beneficial to your overall stress, and then mental health, fear, anxiety, and things like that too. All right. This one's a good one. Delve into hobbies goes along with our being still and letting our mind run. When we can delve into something, we can do chess, play an instrument, reading, creative writing, sketching, photography, bird watching, singing, knitting, running. Not my hobby of choice, but if that's your hobby of choice, that's awesome. But delve into it. Let your mind think about something different than what you're stressing, worrying, fearing about. Remember, it's just the perception of what we're doing. So if we can change that perception and decrease the amount that we're allowing that stress to jump into our lives, great. That is a success in itself. So delving into something different. Something that I am looking forward to. So if there's any good hobbies that I didn't mention, or that you really enjoy, go ahead and put it in the comments, shoot me a DM so that I can enjoy some new hobbies, because it's something that I'm looking for in life. So let me know if there's something that you really enjoy that I might enjoy too. All right. You guys are doing awesome. Let me know if there's anything that you're missing here, but we're doing great. Keeping on going. All right. Number 4, spending time with others. I'm going to send you guys this whole slide deck, and I'm going to send you all the resources that I have along with this too. But with that, just our physiology. So anatomy is our structure. It's our bones, muscles, ligaments, blood, capillaries, arteries, things like that. That's anatomy. Physiology is how that anatomy works with each other. So how our heart pumps, what are the hormones that are going through our body? How do our neurons synapse? How do we have thoughts? That's physiology. Is how do we digest food, is the physiology. And there's actually studies that show the physiology of our hormones. So all of them, our happy hormones, our serotonin and dopamine, and all those happy hormone responses are actually increased when we are physically around people. We've spent the last 2 years for good reason, not around people. We've been separated. We've been further apart from people physically. And now we have a great opportunity to go ahead and see other people. This is a little, woo-woo, but being closer to people have energies and vibrations that are coming through us. So if we can be physically close to an awesome, exciting person, and we're not having a great day, the feeling, you walk into the room and you're like, ugh, and then someone's happy, and first you're like, oh my gosh, even more, ugh. But then, slowly over time, you get that energy up, and it helps you, and you can put your mind off of something, at least for a little while. Or just be in a room with someone and see if that changes anything. You don't have to talk. You don't have to be like, oh, this is my stress and I need to get rid of this. No intention behind it, but just physically being with other people and see what happens. Again, we're just working together to see if there's anything that changes. And from my experience, these are some things that have definitely worked, just being with other people and letting influences positive come into your life, and not letting that brain again be stagnant or be running while your body is stagnant. Okay, we're doing great here. And of course, number 5, my favorite, maybe not yours, hopefully yours, is just enhancing our physical nervous system. As a chiropractor, I couldn't not have this part of this webinar of stress. So our nervous system is encapsulated by our brain, spinal cord, and then our spinal nerves coming out to every organ, muscle, tissue, gland, everything in our body. Um, and our brain is, of course, connected to our spinal cord and communicates all the information to our body. So, telling our lungs to breathe, how to sleep, eat, digest our food, blink our eyes, move my fingers like this, all of that communication is coming from our brain out our spinal nerves. And the only system in our body that is entirely encapsulated by bone is our nervous system, or at least our central nervous system. So our brain is covered by our skull, and our spinal cord is covered by our vertebra. And as chiropractors, what we do is we look at each of these individual vertebra and see if they're adding any stress to your system. You see right here, whoop, this is a normal nerve. This has a little bit of swelling on there. And that nervous system isn't able to function as well. So I'm just going to tell a story of one of my patients. Her name is Marsha. She came into me about 4 months ago, and I'm going to kind of run through all of the different types of stressors and how they were affecting her life. So she walked in and she was super slouched forward. See, this is, there we go. Super slouched forward. And I asked her, I said, and she said, this is the only comfortable position. If I stand up straight, it's painful. Everything is hurting. It's on my back. I feel like I need this. So we have some physical postural stress for sure, right off the bat. Nutritional stress. She was having trouble with digestion. She said, if I eat anything spicy or eat a little bit thing that I shouldn't, we're not in a good place. So digestive issues, totally. Emotional stressors, anxiety, which everyone is facing. Maybe not everyone. Let's hope that's not the correct term. But a lot of us are facing lately is just anxiety about life and how we are, again, perceiving the world around us is anxious. So she was having some anxiety, pain. Like I said, if she stood up straight, she had back pain. If she had left shoulder pain, things were, not communicating and functioning as well as possible. And then environmental stress. So there was some of these good old subluxations in her spine. Things were shifted a little, getting irritation, kind of altering the communication that she was getting through her nervous system. She's coming in for the last 4 months. In the last visit, when she came in, she told me, I've never stuck to anything like this before. She comes in once a week and she's doing awesome. Not because of me, but because her body, we're adjusting, making sure that communication is working really well, and that her body actually just has a higher ability to adapt and function to the stressors, environmental stressors, to the pain and everything. Everything's functioning at a higher level. Going back through posturally, that day when she walked in and said that, she was walking, standing up straight. Postural stress, totally 180. Nutritional, digestive, is getting better. We're increasing. We're able to, not think so much about different things. Emotional stress, anxiety, she'll come in every so often, be like, shoot, I was really anxious today, but that was how she was every single day before she came in to me. So, we were able to decrease that anxiety and help her body physically, even not in her mind, be able to process it better. Pain, decrease in pain, that shoulder pain is gone when she stands up straight. She was like, oh, I am standing up straight. I didn't even notice. So pain is definitely not affecting her life as much. And then her subluxations, we're getting those fixed, those bones shifted out of place. and just allowing her body to, again, take in all of the environmental stressors and function better with them. So like I said, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about chiropractic in this, but we have some really great, awesome tools. If this isn't vibing for you in the chiropractic part, that you're more than free to use, never have to come into my office. All right, so let's just review. So our 5 tools, we have intentional exercise, making sure we're moving our body so our brain can stop moving, managing our social media time. And we went through, a few different things of how we can do that. We can unfollow people, mute people, change our ads that are coming in, change, just the physical content of what we're saying. Hobbies, still looking for a good one, so shoot it my way if you have it, but just being able to delve our energy into something other than this stress that we are feeling, and allow our bodies to relax for a little bit. Spending time with others, seeing if there's that physiological change, something that we can be able to work better and better, and connect with others so that we can take maybe not take their energy, but use their energy for good. And then enhancing our nervous system through chiropractic care and making sure that our body is functioning as highly and effectively as possible. Oops. So we're back. We wrote on a piece of paper at the beginning of this, if you jumped on late, what our 5 biggest stressors in your life are. So maybe look at that sheet, see if they're the same, see if there's something else that popped into your head over this webinar, or see if none of those are there anymore. I doubt it, but hopefully. And then how do you feel after writing those stressors down or reviewing them? Do you feel relieved, calm, happy, and excited? You have some tools now that you can use to decrease those stressors or cope with them better at a minimum? Or do you still feel that sad, stressed, anxious, and worried? And if that's something, shoot me a text and we'll try and figure out some extra things for you to be able to do. But just sit with it for a second, see if we have some of that relief that, okay, we can handle it, we're going to be all right. And then what tool will you start implementing tomorrow? Will you take even a 5-minute intentional walk? Just walk down the street and back. See if that does anything for you. 5 minutes this week, 10 minutes next week, and slowly get into a new routine. Mute 3 people on your Instagram. You could do that right now. Actually, don't do that now because you're paying attention, but do that once this call ends. Or follow 10 inspirational quote pages. Just load your social media up with positive and encouraging things that are going to help you use social media for good instead of to add stress into your life. Or you're going to start bird watching. Maybe we should start a bird watching club in Castro Valley, or maybe there is one and maybe we should join it. But just delving into a new hobby. What's something new that we can put in so that we can get that energy into something positive. Or you're going to make extra effort to see your friends. Even, now sometimes it's not possible to see people in person, but talking to people on the phone and hearing different voices and stuff. Again, you don't have to talk about your stress, but just being able to talk with other people physically in person is great and helping with that physiology. But anything, just talking to someone in general, reach out, call me, sure, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Or chiropractic care. If that's something that resonated with you, then awesome, we'll get you set. So thank you so much. Our office phone number here is on here. It's also on our Facebook page. So, or in my email is that there too. So if chiropractic was kind of one of the things that seemed like it might help, give us a call. We'll give you completely free consultation and exam. When you come in, just mention that you watched this webinar and we'll get you set up. Or if you're not around here, no worries. If you know someone around here, send them on over and say, Sarah sent me over and watch this webinar. So we want to let you know that we're here to help you and make sure that that body is working as best as possible. I just want to thank you guys again so much. And any feedback, send it over. Got tough skin, so but positive feedback too would be awesome. And then mark your calendars too. So September 28th, I'm going to be hosting another webinar similar to this on Facebook, and we're going to be talking about women's health. How did that slip my mind? Women's health, maybe 5 different things you might not know about that. So thank you again so much, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys soon. Thanks.